Welcome to another episode of Dynamic Diecasters, where this week we're going to continue our Ghostbusters Ecto-1 build, with this issue being number 13. And when we come back, we'll go ahead and get started on it. Welcome back. Like I said before the break, we're going to work on our Ghostbusters Ecto-1 build this week. And this week it's going to be issue 13, which is stages 43 through 46. This week is actually going to be another short build, I think. As stage 43 is structural parts for the dashboard. So we're literally putting a couple of pieces on the sides of the dashboard that we assembled in the previous episode. And then in stage 44, we receive parts for the front inner floor, and it looks like the gas pedal and the headlight dimmer switch. And that's going to be stage 44. Then stage 45, we get the carpeting for the front of the car as well as the speakers. I'll talk about that more when we get to stage 45. And then stage 46, we get the base for the front seat and structural parts. So literally we're putting the seat back support brackets in, and I think that's it. So I think this build's gonna go extremely fast. I wouldn't be surprised if I get done in maybe 30 minutes total for the build today for me. For you guys, it'll be more like 10 or 15, depending upon how long I talk. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started on stage 43. Like I said, oh, that's the wrong one. This is stage 43. Like I said, there's literally 4 pieces in this section. So I don't envision it taking very long. So I'll be surprised if it does, honestly. And like I said today, I don't envision it taking very long at all, to be honest with you. Well, I'll have to pick that up. I dropped a couple of screws. Let me grab that real quick. Okay. So, first part being, it looks like, let's see. Yeah. So this is the dashboard left support wall, and then we've got a left speaker, which it's labeled L on the back, so I would assume that's the left one. And then we've got the dashboard right support wall and the right speaker. And then we've got 4 EP screws and 4 IP screws. And like I said, that's it for the stage. So I envision I'll be back in just a couple of minutes to show you what we did. See you in a few. And like I said, that was it for stage 43. So as I was telling you before, we assembled each side support wall and added the left and right speakers. You probably can't see them on camera, but they're right here. And then we attached it to the dashboard. So this is what the dashboard currently looks like before installation into the vehicle, which I'm not sure when that actually occurs, but it's probably not too far from now. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and move on to stage 44. And there's not much to this stage either. There's literally 3 parts. And I don't even think there's screws. So we may not even be doing anything to this. I'll have to take a look and see if we're actually doing anything. I may just talk about stuff and move on to stage 45. Again, could be a very short episode. So, stage 44, we've got the front inner floor. So obviously this will go over the chassis at some point. I'm not sure exactly when that'll be. And then in here in this bag, we've got the front inner or the headlight dimmer foot switch, and then we've got the gas pedal. No screws, so I would assume we're not doing much installation today. With that being said, I may just look at the stage and see what we're doing, and then yeah, I'll go ahead and do the installation right now, since it looks like the only thing we're actually doing is installing the headlight dimmer foot switch into the inner floor, and it says to keep the gas pedal for a later juncture. So I'll just put that to the side. The headlight dimmer switch is this very tiny piece right here, and it'll go into a hole right here in the floorboard. So I'll just put that in right now. So, and that's stage 44. So literally we got the part. We're holding the gas pedal for later, and then we installed the headlight dimmer foot switch right here, and it's this little silver looking piece right here where my finger is. I'll put that to the side, and we'll go ahead and move on to stage 44 or 45. And this is where this stage may not be very long today, because I'm going to be modding this with a Mike Lane's mod. So instead of I'm not going to take the time and actually install these, because I'm gonna modify them in a future modification. So I'm not even going to be using these, but I'll show them to you anyway. If I can get them out of here. So, but I think there's something else to do in this stage. So, because there's screws, so I might actually be putting the gas pedal in. But basically, we've got speakers right here. This might be the only thing I actually install. And then we've got front left carpet, and then we've got the front right carpet. And these 2 items I'm not going to install. There's a modification on Mike Lane Mods that actually does fully carpet. I guess in the explanation, these were add-ons in the Cadillac that year, but they weren't actually in the Ecto-1. So it was suggested that if you could, to put the different things in to actually match what the Ecto-1 looked like. So that's what I'm going to do. And then there's tape that actually is used to put those in the vehicle, which, like I said, I'm not going to do. So I'm just going to close this up. And then we've got AP screws, and we've got 1 AP screw and 1 IP screw. So I'll take a look on stage 45 and see what we actually have to accomplish. And it looks like it is just putting the the gas pedal and the speaker on the floorboard besides the carpets, but I'm not gonna do that. So we'll go ahead and just install these while we're sitting here, because it shouldn't take me but a couple of minutes to actually do it. So you need the IP screw to install the speaker, and the speaker actually goes right here on this section, and it will sit nicely. There's a little hole and there's a pin on the back that it sits in, so that's where it'll go. And then we'll just take the screw and screw it in until it's tight. You don't have to over tighten these, they pretty much go when they're finished. So there's the speaker assembled, and then lastly we've got the gas pedal to put in, and the mod actually goes around the gas pedal, I believe, so we can actually install this right now. And then that'll be the completion, and I'll show you when we're finished with that, but that'll be the completion of stage 45. This is the same thing. There's a little notch in the gas pedal to put it in this little hole, only one way. That way it doesn't move, I think, when you actually start screwing it in from underneath. So I'll go ahead and I'll hold it down just to make sure it doesn't move, but then we'll go ahead and, if I can get the screw in there. It's being a pain for me. It came off my screwdriver. There we go. Hopefully that'll work this time. Oh my lord. Okay, what is it with this thing? Let me try this one and see if this screwdriver will work better on it. I think this has a magnetic tip, so I'll use this one just to... Yeah, there we go. It worked a little bit better, and we'll screw that in until it... there we go. So that's what we did on stage 45. We installed the speaker and the floor pad, the inner floor, and then we installed the gas pedal right here. So now with that, we'll go ahead and move on to the final stage. And the final stage is just enter the base for the front seat as well as structural parts. I'll probably actually time lapse this one because there's brackets and a few actual extra parts, but I'll go over the parts first, and we'll go from there. So, but this is the final stage for the day, so that's what I thought. We would go pretty quick through this build today, which is nice because if you guys have been watching my Star Trek ones, they've been kind of there's been a lot of work involved in them. So this is the front seat base. So this is where the front seats are actually going to go in, and what we're installing today is the brackets for the seats. So the next piece will be these four. Well, I dropped a couple of them. I'll have to pick them up, but there's four front seat support brackets. They look like this. There's four of them. I dropped a couple of them on the floor just now, but then there's four front seat back supports, which these are metal, which is interesting because everything else seems to be plastic. And then there's 16 EP screws right here. With that, we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll show you what we did when we finish up, and then we'll conclude the episode. See you in a few minutes. And that was it for stage 46. Like I said, not very long today. So what we did, we had the seat base, and then we've had the brackets. So we just had to put a bracket on each seat back support and install them. So that was pretty much it for stage 46. So the entire build today was like I said before, was we installed these supports on the dashboard. Then it would have been a little bit longer, but because I didn't install the carpets in this episode, the only thing we actually put on the floorboard was the dimmer switch, the gas pedal, and the speakers. And then lastly, you just saw what we did on stage 46. So, oh, and one other thing is they actually sent me another binder, which is good because I was running out of space in my other one. So it's good they sent me another one to put my issues in. But with that being said, I think the next episode, I think I said in last week that we'd probably be starting the X-Wing one next week, but actually I've got one more Ghostbusters Ecto-1 box that we'll do to catch up. Then I'll be fully caught up and I won't have any other boxes to do for the Ecto-1 at this point until they deliver me another one. So next episode will be issue 14 for the Ecto-1, and then after that we'll start the X-Wing build that we have planned. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it was short, but if you like these, go ahead and like it, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell so you get notified when I put these out. And for all of us at the Heart of Geek, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good night.